Hi everybody, welcome to Pageant Professors. Today we have an extra special treat for you. We're gearing up for Miss USA, and so we have the one and only Miss DC USA 2012, Monique Thompkins, in the studio. We are so excited to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So many questions, so many things you want to know. First off, you look fantastic. So
thank you.
Clearly the preparations for USA are going wonderfully.
They are.
So well. So you actually had never competed in a pageant before, correct?
Correct.
What made you decide to compete? Like, how did that whole process start?
It started off with like an idea. It was just saying, I think I want to do it. And then I was going to do it in 2011.
Okay.
And fear kind of knocked me out of it. So I gave myself some goals and I said, okay, well, if this lines up right, then I'll do it. And everything lined up correctly. And then I have, the support of my friends and family. And that's honestly how I got into it. It's just support and taking myself into it, not out of it.
Wow. So where did you hear? Because there's lots of systems out there. There's Miss DC America, there's International, there's lots of stuff out there. What made you decide to go with the Miss Universe organization?
Growing up, I used to always pay attention to the Miss USA pageant. So that was the one pageant I always followed and always kept up to date with. So for me, it was kind of an easy decision for me.
Got it. So you're not a pageant girl, you're a Miss USA girl.
Exactly. I like that.
Love it. So when you did decide to compete, where did you start? Like, how did you, trunk shows and gown designers are kind of hard to come by. It's not like you walk into Macy's and see Giovanni all the time. So how did you learn kind of the ins and outs, the things you needed to do to actually get ready for the pageant?
I had a good friend who I knew competed a lot, and so I went to her first, and I said, well, what do you do? And she's like, well, here's a book. So she gave me a book, and the book was my first starting point. And then from there, I had my aunt, I kind of gave everyone a task. My aunt was like, you're going to find me a location for the dress, and then you're going to help me walk. And that's kind of how I got into it, because I didn't decide until the last minute to even enter the pageant.
Oh.
So I've had to pull it together really quickly.
So two questions, just backing up. Do you mind sharing what book it was? Because
I'm gonna try to remember for you. It was I'm horrible with books.
No, that's
okay. The Crowning Touch, is that what it is? Yeah, The Crowning Touch is the book she gave me. So
I think I have it somewhere there on the bookshelf too. It's a good one. We'll send out the link as well to that book, because it actually is a great jumping off point.
And it has a lot of questions in the back that helped me out a lot.
Okay, so then flash forward, you decided to find the gown.
Right.
How did you know? Because your gown was stunning. It was, and we'll put up pictures that the stunning white. It fit your body like a glove. How did you find it, and how did you know it was the one?
I knew the colors that I like, and I didn't want to compromise myself in my gown. So I was like, well, I like the color white, and you get fearful of white because like, everyone's going to do white, but I was going to go for red or white. And this gown, when I put it on, my family was like, oh, that's the gown. So I kind of took their opinion more than I took mine, because I was kind of like, well, I like the red one, but like the red one's wearing you. So I was like, oh.
But it happens.
Right.
That happens so much. I've had that happen to me. The gown can very much wear you, but
so family.
That white one, man,
oh,
you wore that gown for sure.
Thank you.
So, but you said that you started your preparations much later than you would have liked to.
Yeah.
How far in advance did you start preparing for Miss DC?
I went to a few meetings, maybe in September. However, I did not decide until October that I was actually going to commit to doing it. So I only had like a month.
Yeah, for ladies that don't know, the pageant was actually, what, end of November?
November 27th was the pageant. So I had to get my money together, get the dress, get everything together in a month.
I always remember the hardest thing about DC when I competed was that it was right after Thanksgiving. So you're getting ready for some suit and watching everybody else eat amazing Thanksgiving food.
Right.
But at least 2 days after, you got to probably say, or 3 days after?
Right, and the week before was my birthday. So we went out to dinner and they were like, here's
double
the cake.
Whammy.
And I was like, oh, the cake. Yeah.
So you actually, I heard, just made the Redskins cheer team for the 3rd season.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did that help with, speaking of, getting into shape and ready for the pageant, did that help you kind of with your fitness goals?
Oh, yes, definitely. With Redskins alone, you have to be physically fit, but you also have to be confident. So I think the confidence and the drive and being fit was already there through Redskins. But the girls themselves, they actually helped me a lot, because they were very supportive of me. They were my own personal team for coaching. And I remember before practice, I would have like one girl say, walk right now. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk. And then in the middle of practice, someone else comes to me, so Monique, how do you feel about this? In the middle of practice, but it helped me because you had to like turn off, practice brain and go right to like pageant brain, like answer. And I'm like, okay, good, no dance. So, I mean, the girls are awesome. I think they helped me definitely prepare for it. They definitely convinced me and motivated me. However, I think being a cheerleader itself gives you the right tools that you need to be in the pageant world, such as confidence.
Yeah, because I can imagine after being at FedEx Field, a crowd of 200 is nothing compared to a sold out. Right, exactly. So you had the nerves part probably wasn't as much of a factor for you as someone who's never really been on stage or in the limelight like that.
Right, I like performing, so being on stage was easy. I think it came down to the interview question because, we speak, but we speak typically for quick interviews about the games.
Right.
So that was my point. I was like, okay, I'm talking now.
So did you have any hard interview questions?
I think for prelim interview, it was personality, and I didn't even think about it. I just thought, show who you are, Monique. But for on stage, I remember thinking, oh, I got the hard question because all the girls got, like, if you had a TV show, what would be, what would be called?
I remember these.
And then I got, give me a call and convince me to donate towards it. Right. And I was like, what happened to the fun, what's your favorite TV show?
You're like, I want to answer her question.
Right, can I get that one? So I remember thinking I got the hard questions, but I was thinking, let's keep it together, Monique, let's keep it together.
Oh, and you did. We were right in the front row. Oh. You were poised, and you hit the answer right out of the park. So,
thank you.
It's no wonder to see why Monique won and did so well. She was fantastic all year long. So you prepared for DC USA. It was a little bit chaotic last minute. Mm-hmm. How has that changed from your preparation for Miss USA?
Right away, or after I won, I think the next day I was like, okay, USA, it's time to get ready for it. And Heather, my predecessor, bless her heart, emailed me.
We love her.
Yes, we do. She emailed me right away. It was like, okay, gotta get this, gotta get that. Do not wait. And I was like, okay. So right away, it was like down to it. And before me, there were already girls already crowned. So I thought they already had a step above me. So I really had to, come with it ASAP. So I think my first thing I did was I went to New York and I shot with Fadil. And
those pictures were gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. And he's amazing. And he can bring anything out of anyone. So Fadil's awesome.
Yes, he is like, I am dying to shoot with Fadil.
Oh, you have to. So I think that's the first thing I did was go take my photos. Next step was finding a designer and going to see what dresses I like on me and who Monique is, and so I think that was my second step. And then I think everything else from there is just go with the flow. Don't psych yourself out and don't get too chaotic because then you start losing yourself and your confidence and your poise. That's what you really need. So, yeah.
Is there a shift in like Monique the cheerleader versus Monique the beauty queen? Do you have when you're at events? Do you find yourself having to like turn one off and turning the other on? Or
I think honestly, being a cheerleader is almost. I mean, not saying it's the same as being a beauty queen. However, when you're with the Redskins cheerleading organization, you are on. Right. So the lashes and the glam is there automatically. So I think that it never turns off. I think only time I ever turn off is going home and I really become like the down-to-earth Monique in her sweats and her hair's pulled up. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. But, cheerleader Monique and Miss DC Monique is the same Monique. And I feel like the one thing I never want to do as a title holder and as a cheerleader is lose who I am. So I think they're all in the same. It's just different people, different layers of Monique.
So you mentioned makeup and lashes as well. So that's probably because cheer makeup, when you're, need to be seen on the field from miles away, is probably pretty similar to pageant stage makeup.
Oh, yes.
Is that how you learned to do your makeup for the pageant?
That is. I thought, okay, well, only thing that was different between pageant makeup and Redskins makeup was the burgundy lipstick. I was like, I don't have to wear burgundy lips. Awesome. But everything else was the same. So from the eyes up and the foundation, everything was taught to me through NFL and Redskins.
So being backstage, DCUSA, it's chaos and lots of going on. Was there anything about pageantry that you didn't expect? Anything that you were just like, whoa, what is this trick, or what is this secret, or what are these girls doing? Because you hear about the Vaseline on the teeth and all kinds of...
I think the one thing that you hear about, but I saw it, was the butt glue. I was like, so you really put that in your butt? They're like, yeah. And I was like, could I try that? That was the one thing that was new to me because for Redskin auditions, you have to have a swimsuit around. However, we don't butt glue our butts. So
right.
I was like, does it really work? And so the only thing about that is once you can go from swimsuit to your gown, it's a little sticky under there. So.
Yes, yeah, we have a video specifically on butt glue and how it can go very bad if you don't, we had our, but that's one of the immediate things we knew when I first competed. No idea what butt glue was.
Right.
I was like, what are these girls doing?
I was like, are you gluing your butt? Why?
Yeah, what is happening here? So, that's a good one for the first time. So what do you think, because you obviously had such a huge support system, and these girls all came to the pageant, they were loud and screaming for you. You had like a cheering section, which was fantastic and so endearing. Out of all of the support that you got, what do you think is the one best piece of advice that somebody gave you?
Wow, that's a good question. I have to think about that. I think the best piece of advice is to own it and claim it on that stage, and do not compare yourself to anyone else up there. You are you, and no one's better at being you than you. So just remember who you are and what you can offer, because granted, you're awesome too, and you can offer something that I can't. But if you try to compare yourself and become someone you're not, then you're already losing. So just remember who you are.
Love it. Love it. So quickly backing up, I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but it's just so awesome talking with you. So you had the gorgeous white gown for DCUSA, but you also had the white bikini.
Yellow.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yellow, you're right. There was a lot of white up there. So how did you pick the yellow bikini?
I knew yellow made me pop, so I was like, let me do yellow. However, my teammate, I don't know if you could tell, but they bedazzled it.
You could tell.
So my teammate added little rhinestones to it, and to make it more like, I mean, I love rhinestones. If you see my car, I have a rhinestone license plate frame, so I was like, yeah, let's make this more me. But I thought yellow would make me pop, it would make me stand out. So it's like, everything was to make me a better me up there.
So a lot of the advice that we give young women is, especially when it comes to coloring, is pick colors that you're comfortable with every day.
Right.
Not like a totally new adventure on stage.
Yeah, exactly. And I learned that. And the thing is, I'm very comfortable. I'm a minimalist, if you can't tell. And
you look fantastic, so you don't need all of the other.
And I think that if I try not to cover myself with too many layers of, like, I'll keep a simple stud or I'll do a chandelier. If I'm going to do a necklace, I have to do a stud. And so I'm looking at you like, okay, no earrings and necklace. I would do that. And I think that's one thing that I've heard a lot that I'm kind of happy that I did stick with is if you like wearing black, just because you never see anyone wearing black on the stage does not mean it's not okay to do it. So wear black. If you like apple cherry red, then go find apple cherry red. And if you feel good, you'll look good. So yeah.
That is awesome advice. So I guess on the same round, so is that what would you say to a young woman who came up tomorrow and said, I really want to compete, I don't know how, I don't know if this is a good idea. What would you tell them?
I would just say go for it, because I didn't know if it was a good idea, and I didn't know anything. I was not a pageant girl, and a lot of girls had done pageants before me. So, I mean, the only thing that beats a failure is a try. So I would just try it, and then...
I love that line.
Yeah, and if you just go after... people who know, who've been there, done that, didn't have to win, but they still know something you don't know. And that's what I did. I found people who've competed before, they know the ins and outs. And even the people who lost, I think you learn more from those who lose, because I think that's a bigger learning experience. It's like, okay, what did I do wrong? So go to those people, and they'll definitely help you out.
We haven't won all of our pageants, so you can come to us.
No, really, like, awesome. And I remember I had to learn about you guys as well, so I was like looking you guys up, and I was like, oh my gosh. So everything was new to me, even you guys. I was like, am I doing okay?
You're doing fantastic. You're fantastic. So, Journey to Miss USA, what do you think, what part of the competition are you looking forward to the most? Or the 4 weeks, because it's not just a competition. You were there for a long time.
I know. I'm weird. I like swimsuit round. I'm looking forward to the swimsuit round.
Of course you do. If I had your body, I would look forward to swimsuit round. I would be like, bring it on.
I'm really excited for it. I'm also looking forward to meeting the girls. I met a few of them in New York when we had the video shoot. A lot of the girls were out there for Sherry Hill and everything. But seeing them again and meeting them again, I think that's the one thing. That's my favorite part of competition, is meeting the new girls and seeing what you have in common, but even better, what makes you unique. So.
Being a Redskins cheerleader and Miss DC USA, that's a lot to put on your plate. How do you balance the two?
And I also work for federal law enforcement. So I have a job, a hobby.
Wow.
So I think communication is key. I think having support and you have to communicate what you're doing. Right as soon as I get a date, I let my coach know and let my job know that I have this date. I can't be here for that, and how can we make this work? And they're very understanding and they're very supportive. So I think if you don't have a good support system, but if you don't communicate as well, then there's no way you can get everything done. It's a give and take relationship.
Oh my gosh, so I have to ask, federal law enforcement, like what exactly?
I'm an investigative research specialist for the Department of Health and Human Services. And
brains and beauty. I mean, this is fantastic.
And I've been doing that for about 2 years now, going on 2 years in August. So, you know, I don't know how I got into that. It was something that I've always kind of wanted to do, but I was like, I don't really know. I went to school for dance. Who really knows? How can I make this happen? And I made it happen. And so from there, I was like, you know, you can do anything you want to do. You just have to put your mind to it and convince people, just like you believe in yourself, that you can do it. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. So you've got a lot going on as Miss DC.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite events that you've been doing, favorite appearances?
Wow. My favorite appearances so far. I love Wounded Warriors. Probably my favorite thus far.
That's a good one.
I did that with Redskins as well. So when I was able to do it as Miss DC, I jumped on the opportunity, and I want to thank Shayna for that, because Shayna threw that at me. Shayna is America's Miss, if you don't know. And she threw that out there to me, and I was like, yes, have to do it. So that's probably my favorite appearance to do thus far is Wounded Warrior.
So what is your best advice on how to, if you're not a cheerleader, the best piece of advice on how to get in shape?
I would say discipline is number one. Your favorite foods are typically probably the ones that you shouldn't be in love with. I love honey buns, and anyone can tell you I'm always eating a honey bun or a ho-ho. It's really horrible. It's really bad. And I love it. However, if you can just, I would say, eliminate one bad thing out of your life and replace it with something else. And then I would say 30 minutes of cardio a day minimum.
Running, walking.
Running, I can't run, I have a bad hip, so I have to do elliptical. So whatever works for you.
For me.
Yeah, I can't run. I want to so bad, but I just dislocated my hip a long time ago, so I can't do it. But I would say this discipline. What works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. I love pasta. I love sushi. I love everything. I love pizza. And so I try not to give it up. But if you just eliminate that one thing that you love most, which is honey buns and ho-hos, I give them both up. Then you can start there, and then you realize the next step is
what was your healthy replacement?
My healthy replacement was actually sorbet.
Oh.
Sorbet, have you noticed, is like no calories in sorbet.
I haven't looked at that. I just always assumed it was just that as ice cream soda for the ice cream.
Sorbet is a better choice. So I would do an organic sorbet as my replacement. So if I have a sweet tooth, I went to sorbet, or I would get like a fresh mango and eat it as my replacement for ho-hos. However, you know, pizza's still there. Still like my pizza.
Well, you can't give up everything.
No, you can't. And I think that's the thing. People think that they give up everything right away. You'll find yourself losing your mind because you can't give it all up.
It's not sustainable then.
It's not. It's not. And then you have to remember, do not crash diet. You know, if you crash diet, you're going to kill your metabolism. You're going to probably lose a lot of weight at the moment, but then you're going to gain twofold back. And then you're going to wonder, well, what happened? I wasn't never. Yeah, just don't crash diet. Eat. I would say eat more than ever, but just eat healthier.
See, I love it. Fantastic advice. So before we let you go, we've got obviously Miss USA coming up just around the corner. You leave, did you say 4 weeks?
May 18th.
Oh my gosh, that is right around the corner.
Yeah, it's a flu.
So what do you, have you thought about past Miss USA? What's next for Monique Thompkins?
Right now we're going to focus on getting the crown and goes from there.
Bringing it back to DC?
Bringing it to DC. You know, it's time. However, one thing I can say that I'm happy I didn't do is I didn't give up anything else in my life. So I still have my job. I still have my teammates. So if God does not have this in plan for me, there is still other doors open for me. And I think that He will lead me in the right direction for what's next.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again for taking the time to come in and talk with us. We all are going to be rooting for you on June 3rd. It's NBC. So tune in.
9 o'clock Eastern Time.
We'll also have Monique's Twitter information and website, and also information about her event coming up. So be sure to be on the lookout for all things Monique Tompkins.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
Did you know that there are some really common mistakes that girls make during the evening gown portion of their competition? Click on the link in the description below and you'll be taken to our website for a free 30-minute long training course. By the end of it, you'll learn how to avoid these common mistakes and master the evening gown portion of your competition today.